So in this section, I'm going to be talking about the PTE reading section. In the previous video, we talked about the speaking and the writing of the PTE test, and actually this is the second section. For you to do well on the reading section of the PTE exam, there are a few skills you need to quickly pay attention to. The first is the skimming skill. The skimming skill helps you to run through a passage, run through a paragraph within the shortest possible time and having an overall general understanding. So if you want to skim a document, all you need to do is to read the first sentence, which is actually called the subject sentence, and that is where the author declares his or her intention for that paragraph. And then you read the last sentence. The last sentence is the summary sentence where the author summarizes everything he or she has said. Okay, so if you read the first sentence and the last sentence, it gives you an overview understanding of what that paragraph is about. Now, why that is important is for the reading test, time is essential and reading is also essential. Okay, so the next skill you need is actually to pay attention to the subject. Every passage will be focused on something, that is the subject. Some questions will be around the subject, so you need to quickly understand what is this passage talking about. The third thing you need to pay attention to is the detail. The detail are the fragment information, the pieces of information that are being distributed, the idea that is being pursued or supported by whatever is being written. Okay, so you should be able to identify those detailed information. And then, of course, you should be able to do that as fast as possible. Now, you must understand that the overall purpose of the reading test is not necessarily how to read or to read. Else, somebody would have been sitting by and then you'll be asked to read a piece of document. So that's not what play out in the PTE. So it simply means the overall purpose of the reading test is simply your ability to fish out answers to questions. So you are going to focus on an approach that will help you to figure out the answer to question as quickly as possible. All right. So you are looking at strategy that helps you to bring that answer, not necessarily reading. Obviously, you have to be able to read to fish out this answer. So that is why there's a recommended approach I have for you. Okay, it is my recommendation if you feel it's going to work out for you. So the first thing you do is to read the instruction. The instruction, you must understand it. That's what tells you what is expected of you. Some of the sections you'll be required to write just to choose just an answer. Some other section you'll be required to choose all the correct answers. So if the instruction is choose all the correct answers and you choose just one correct answer, then that is a fail. So instruction tells you what is expected of you. And remember that the reading passage itself, they are actually broken down into several items or several question types. So each section has its own instruction. So a particular instruction might be for question 1 to 5. Then when you are going to question 6 to 10 or 10 to 11, there'll be another kind of instruction. So you understand the instruction. The second thing you do after reading the instruction is quickly go to the question, read the question, understand what the question wants from you, then lastly go to the passage and get the answer. Okay, so following these approaches will help you to get your answers as quickly as possible within the reading test. And remember, like I just said, the overall purpose of the reading test is not necessarily to read, but your ability to fish out the correct answers from the passages. And so we're going to be looking at the items, the question types that are in the reading test. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the question types, or what we call the items that are being tested in the reading section. Okay, so these are the subsections that make up the reading section. The first is the MCQ, which stands for multiple choice questions. Actually, there are two types. The first multiple choice questions, you will have to choose a single correct answer. So obviously, multiple choice means they are lettered, like the first one A, the second one B, like that. You are simply to click on the one you feel is the answer. So from the instruction, you will know which one is which. Now, for the second multiple choice, you have to choose multiple answers. That is how they'll put it. But for your understanding, you are to choose all correct answers. I think that's the best way you should look at it. because for the multiple answers of the MCQs question type, you'll be required to choose all the questions that are correct. Sorry, all the answers or responses that are correct. So if it's three responses that are correct, you have to choose them. And there is no answer for partially correct answer. So you must listen to the instruction and then look at the passages and make sure if it is the one that asks you to choose all the correct answers, you choose all the correct answers. Now, the third question type of the reading section is the reorder paragraphs. Here you'll be given short paragraphs of text, maybe for about 4 or 5, and then you will have to reorder them. You have to reorder them paying attention to the structure. It's just like what play out when you are writing an essay. Okay, you begin an essay with an introduction, then you have the body and then a conclusion. You cannot begin an essay with the conclusion, then write introduction and the body. So it can be given to you. So the past paragraphs are given to you in a disordered form, and then you have to arrange and organize them. Now, for you to do well in the reorder paragraphs, you need to pay attention to meaning and progression of information. Which information should come first before the other based on what is being said. And then again, to do well in this section, you need to pay attention to linking words, connecting words, and then try to flow with the overall progress of the reading passage. Okay, so that is the reordered paragraphs. And then for you to do that, it is simple. All you need to do is to click and drag. If you feel maybe paragraph 3 is supposed to be the first one, just click and drag it up. It goes up and it replaces like that. So, and then when you are done completely with the reordering of the paragraphs, try to read the entire short paragraph or short information, short text, that is reading all the paragraphs that make up that passage to see if it makes complete sense, okay, in a progressive manner. After the reorder paragraph, then you have the fill in the blanks. Here you'll be given a short text or a short passage, and then they'll have blanks, that is empty spaces. Each of them will have a box of text attached to them. So you have to look at those options and then choose which is correct. Now, for PTE, the words are not so big words. They are not so advanced words. They are words that are used, in regular academic section, but you need to pay attention to meaning. So you need to pay attention to words like homophones. That is, words that sound similar but mean the same thing. Okay, like site, S-I-T-E, and then C-I-T-E. So these words, they sound the same, but they have different meaning. Now, for you to know which of the vocab or which of the words to use, you need to read the sentence and understand what is being said. Thereafter, you know which of the words to choose. So that is fill in the blanks. And then the last one is reading and writing. Now, for this section, you are going to be given a short passage also, but this time around, this will have a drop-down option, drop-down. So you are going to click and then figure out which one is correct to fill in that space from the drop-down option. So these are the question types or the sections, the subsections that make up the reading section of the PTE test. Please follow or subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get more videos as we update them. So these are everything you need to know about the PTE reading section. Okay, thank you.